This is Evil Uno, and you are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to a very unique edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approve Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I'm driving in my car very safely, hands-free, might I add, and I am joined by the one and only, and I did that on purpose, Mike, as always. But we have another special guest here, good friend of the show, and I'm actually really excited about this because I don't think we've ever really recorded together, or if we have, it has not been very often. Matt Sookram joining the show again. Always a pleasure to have you, Matt.
Well, because he's always your replacement.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
if only we could find a week to get rid of Mike, I think we might actually have a successful show.
That's right. Oh man, great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me once again. I think the last and probably the only time Tyler and I recorded an episode was when we were all together for Sacrifice, when we did that
that
mega
show,
WrestleMania reunion show.
That was so fun. We just put the microphone in the middle of the room, and I mean that's probably the best. That's probably the best podcast any franchise has ever been a part of. Let me tell you.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong at all. Tell me, how does it feel, Matt? Though it's really cool for you and I to be able to talk to each other and be accompanied by artificial intelligence.
I mean, the technology for AI has improved so much that I thought Tyler was a real person for the last 5 years.
Right?
Like, that'll be $49.95 a month, Mike. That is the AI technology fees that Mike pays every month.
Oh, you're on the advanced version of ChatGPT, I see.
Yeah, Mike got the only version of AI that tells him how stupid he is every week.
That's very true.
We all need a reminder sometimes.
That's it. I'm like the Terminator version of AI.
Tyler as AI is the remake of Ex Machina nobody wanted.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into, there's a lot to talk about here, and I'm excited to get into it because I got some hot takes this week. But before we do that, hey Mike, how was your week in fantasy football? Are you 3-0?
Are you fucking with me right now? You want to go down this road? I don't think I've ever hated football more than I hate it right now. I don't know who got murdered more. Actually, I do know who got murdered more because I got murdered, but nobody got murdered more than the fucking Bengals this week.
Yeah, and so did your fantasy football team, I believe.
Not as bad as the Bengals. I only lost by like 7 points.
Well, I am 3-0, which is great. But I will say the biggest win of the week came from my wife, Victoria. Did you see this one, Mike?
No, I didn't notice. Did she?
So my wife was playing my brother Colton this week, and when football ended on Sunday night, she had a 5% chance to win the game. And then David Montgomery had the game of his life, and she beat my brother by 2 points.
Oh.
My brother texted the next morning. He's like, "What the fuck happened last night?"
Isn't that the worst when you go to bed,
yes,
and you're in the lead, and you're like, I'm good. Then you wake up and you were like, what the fuck happened?
I mean, I wouldn't know about that being 3-0, so I don't know, whatever. But that's our fantasy football talk. I want to get into wrestling talk here. I want to start with you first here, Matt. How much wrestling did you get to see this weekend? Because there was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Unfortunately, hardly any. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of other stuff. Yeah, when you got two kids playing competitive sports and you're also trying to run a website about a team that's in the middle of a playoff race, wrestling is unfortunately no longer at the top of your priority list, but I did get to see some stuff. But yeah, there was a lot. I saw some of the stuff with Edge back in Toronto.
Yeah.
I saw some of the stuff at WrestlePalooza with Lesnar just kind of manhandling Cena. So I didn't even see all the results yet of
Yeah.
everything that happened. So yeah, I've been busy doing a lot of non-wrestling stuff, unfortunately.
Fair enough. And Mike, I know you're in the same boat as well. So what
Very
I'll do
much.
then
Yeah.
is I'll just kind of throw a topic out there and we'll discuss it and we'll kind of give our take on what our opinions are from what happened. And how's that sound?
Sounds good.
Great.
All right. I want to start with something that's actually really angering me. And
Well,
we
I know where
discussed this.
I know where we're going here.
Well, we discussed this in our group chat a little bit earlier today, the Counted Out group chat. I want to talk about TNA Wrestling finally getting their big moment last night, invading NXT, and nobody could fucking tell because the closing shot of the pay per view had nothing to, or the NXT show, sorry, had nothing to do with TNA Wrestling, but it had the Austin Theory, is that what's his name, Ricky Starks or whatever his name is, the Rock Jr. as everybody calls him, and
Mhm.
Obi Fan staring at the NXT title. Well, we have TNA finally getting a shine in this program. I don't understand this one. Mike, let me get your take on it. Did you have a chance to see the clip? I know you said you were going to
I
try to watch it.
I did see the clip. I didn't watch the full match. I watched the clip. And I didn't get to see everything that you told me about because you said there's a lot of stuff out there being shown that wasn't shown on television. And I didn't get to see any of that, but you're right. I didn't see the big names that you say were there. I didn't see Steve Macklin. I didn't see all these guys that apparently were there that should have been in the forefront. My number one question right now is whose call is this? Is this Shawn Michaels? Like who hates TNA right now?
I would assume that WWE has the final say in what's going on
Well,
here, right?
100%. But
Uh,
who's call like Shawn? I think Sean's got last say with NXT, right? Like,
I believe so, yeah.
yeah,
So, Matt, let me get your take on this then. TNA and NXT, like this has potential to be something really fun. Why are we setting up this big moment for TNA and then just shifting focus to something that they could have just done in an interview segment next week?
Yeah, I don't understand why the decision was made to end on that shot. Like I said before, I thought the match was actually really good. Um, between Obi Fem and Trick Williams. I was entertained by that. I thought as as the TNA guys started making their appearances in the crowd, that was pretty cool. Matt Cardona got a huge pop.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, and then I thought the slap at the announce table was good to like ignite it. It was like
Yeah.
it had a great feel of like everyone was on edge and they were waiting for that spark. And then that spark hit. And then everything kind of as thing was we're ramping up as it descended into chaos. Um I don't know if they ran out of time because then everything felt like it sped up. Like they kind of tried to cover a bunch of things in like 30 seconds. Like the fact that the announcers were so quick to be like, "Oh, this is an invasion. You'll never forget this night." And it's just like, "Let it breathe a little,
yeah,
guys." Like
You'll
yeah.
you'll never forget this night as we immediately something completely different.
sorry, you cut out right at the end
Yeah.
there, Tyler.
No, I said as you immediately forget about it and go to a shot of something completely
Yeah,
different.
I thought
Yeah.
that was so dumb because you've got this awesome battle raging on behind you, and these two guys are just staring at each other. And I don't know. It's like for someone that's not following the product as closely every week, but kind of enjoying a lot of the clips between these two, quote unquote rival companies. I thought they were building this the right way, and then to just, like I said in the chat group, to have these two jabronis staring at each other while everyone else is fighting around them, it made no sense whatsoever.
Is WWE just like incapable to do an invasion angle properly.
No,
Like
that I was going to say the same thing. I just don't think. I think this is where you have to start hanging it up. I don't think invasion angles are for them. You tried several times. You always fail. I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I'm really let down by this. And I think that it's somebody that should be getting more focus in this program is Steve Macklin.
Well,
Steve
yeah.
Macklin has really upped his game. His promo work has been phenomenal. He's Mr. Rah Rah TNA right now. And you wouldn't have even known that he was in the ring during this whole thing unless you slow down and look at a picture that was posted after.
Now, I did say in the chat group, how do I know who's fighting who? No one's wearing red or blue, so that could be part of the problem. But
that is my favorite thing that you've ever said in my entire life.
But you're right. The other thing is, again, it felt like they were all of a sudden realized they were out of time. They didn't focus on one battle over the other. It was just everyone piling on. Like, I didn't even know who actually came out for NXT. I was like, who is coming out here to save NXT here?
Yeah.
Like they didn't mention anyone by name. They were just like, this is crazy, right, guys? Like
the other thing that really bothers me about this too, where is Joe Hendry in all of this? Why does he just not give a shit about it? Like in all reality, this whole thing from a kayfabe and a storyline standpoint, this is all Joe Hendry's fault that any of this has happened. You know, he decided to enter the Royal Rumble. He decided to go to WrestleMania. He decided to defend the TNA title against Trick Williams. He lost the belt, and he has given no fucks since losing the belt. He just pops up, and you know he's sitting in a fridge. He was in a NASCAR outfit this week. Like, what are we doing here?
Now, here's what I'll say can save the angle is if at No Mercy it comes down to it and Hendry comes down and no one knows whose side he's on.
Oh, God.
And he betrays TNA to join NXT.
Is he the third man, Matt?
Joe Hendry might be the third man.
You want him to be Homicide from the Ring of Honor and CZW, right? Like, that's kind of the example there. I mean, I get it, but why is and again, I'll use Steve Macklin as a great example, or even Santino Marella, who's their authority figure. Why is nobody calling this guy out? Hey, Joe, you lost our belt. What are you doing dicking around in a fridge?
I think, again, it took me a second to realize how funny that is.
I think Joe Hendry should do what RVD did in 1997. Be a heel in TNA because he deserves better.
Yeah, I think this is classic overbooking without having an end goal and then trying to piece it together. Like, is this also not a rushed angle? Like, I know TNA and NXT have kind of been feuding for a while now, but it does feel like they're like this does feel a little rushed out of nowhere.
Yeah, which is pathetic because of how long they have been doing this together now.
Exactly.
Like, how is this a rush after 6 months? Or it's been a year since they've announced their partnership almost.
Yeah, and even before then, you know, when they were doing stuff with Jordan coming in, stuff like that, even before the partnership was official, they were working together. So this goes back far.
Well, and I've said this on the show for many, many weeks now. Like, I don't hate this partnership, but TNA has not really gotten a rub from this yet. Like, other than, okay, they drew their biggest crowd at that New York pay-per-view there.
Yeah.
Because they're associated with the WWE, I would assume. But from an on-air standpoint, their hottest act leading into this pay-per-view was Joe Hendry. He's completely cooled down. They've lost all their titles to WWE without really getting a shine on the win back. Like, does anyone even remember that Ash by Elegance won the knockout title? It was just so kind of just quickly done and not really thought of. It was not made a big deal. That's a big deal. Like, she won a title back for her company. Why is nobody trying to take WWE title?
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
The the Hardy Boys have said it. They said it on our show. We want to be the NXT Tag Team Champs. Cool. Why are you not doing that? You're the Hardy Boys. Walk on to NXT and say, hey, we're the Hardy Boys. Give us a fucking title shot.
With all that said, still after everything you said that could happen and probably won't happen, the biggest missed opportunity at the end of the day will be if Joe Hendry comes out and Booker T doesn't yell, but whose side is he on?
That means that Joe Hendry's got to come out and say, we're coming for you guys.
Oh, shit.
Then it'll all be worth it.
Yeah. I can't talk about it anymore. I'm getting fired up.
There hasn't been enough back and forth in terms of, and I don't mean like back and forth in terms of 50-50 booking. That was probably one of the worst things about what killed the WCW ECW invasion. Not the only thing, clearly, but one of the worst things was so much flip-flopping back and forth in terms of who has the upper hand, who doesn't. Like there was no clear team that, or there was never any threat really, because no one established themselves as the true power group. It was just back and forth. But I think the problem with this storyline between TNA and NXT is, like you were saying, Tyler, no one has really kind of stepped up and has taken the gauntlet and has said for TNA, why are we being treated like underdogs with these guys? Let's go back and win some titles here, or win some matches on their pay-per-views before it becomes like a full-blown war kind of thing, right? Like there wasn't enough for them to feel like they even deserve to be on the same stage as NXT.
Yeah. I can think of one promo that they cut the night after the first show after the Slammiversary show, when Macklin, the Hardys, and Leon Slater were on the ring with the belt, saying like, no more of this shit. And then that was it. And then they've done nothing since then except for an online Instagram and Twitter campaign of saying, complaining on Twitter about it in a work standpoint. Like, that's not good enough for me,
I agree.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. All right, let's get off of NXT. Lots of other stuff to talk about.
Let's get a little Canadian then. How about that, boys? You guys want to talk a little Edge and Christian?
It's the only reason I'll ever want to talk about AEW. Let's do it.
Have any of you seen? I know, Mike, you haven't seen the match yet. Matt, did you have a chance to see their match, Edge and Christian and FTR?
No, I unfortunately didn't get to see it.
Phenomenal match. It was really, really good match. It was a great moment. Edge, of course, and Christian get the heroes welcome. The crowd did the singing for Edge's theme song. It was really cool. They faded the music out and they took the whole verse. It was awesome. I will say, though, Christian was way more over than Edge to that crowd.
Interesting.
That really doesn't surprise me. He's in AEW. He is one of the most over people there. His heel character has transitioned so well into this babyface role because he's not a babyface, and fans are still just finally they're allowed to cheer for this guy that they wanted to cheer for the last 4 years.
And I think
it's amazing.
The biggest difference too, Mike, like you just said, like he's playing just as he hasn't changed, and people want to cheer for him. But Edge kind of just comes across like a dorky dad now, which I'm cool with. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate on it at all. Yeah. But like Christian just doesn't give a fuck. Like that skit. Did you see the skit they did with Bubbles and Wendell Clark before?
No.
Oh my God! So you saw that one, Matt?
Yeah.
So just for anyone that didn't see it, the pay-per-view started. They did the pyro, and then they did earlier today's skit, and it was Edge and Christian entering the building, and the Edge was marking out. Oh, look at all the history in the building, the Maple Leafs. There's a picture on the wall of Wendell Clark. He's like, Wendell Clark, that's my favorite hockey player of all time. And then the camera pans over, and then Wendell Clark was standing there. He's like, oh, Wendell. And Wendell's like, go for the throat, boys. Like, he did a little promo. And then they were walking more, and Edge is like, Christian, why are you so mean to Wendell Clark? Like, that guy's a hero. Like, I don't care, whatever. And then all of a sudden they look up, and Edge goes, Bubbles? There was Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys. And he was so funny. And Christian's he's like, I just want you to know, boys, I got your back if you need it. And Christian's like, no, we don't want that. And he's like, what's wrong with this dickweed over here? And Christian's like, he's like, how's your dad, Bubbles? It was so funny, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, Bubbles turned into the green bastard. It was amazing.
That's so good.
It was very well done.
It was a great skit. It's all over Twitter and Instagram, so I highly recommend looking that up.
Great blend of comedy and just like hitting all the right notes with like the Canadian crowd and 100%. knowing their audience for where they were. So
100%. And I think that goes back to what we were just talking about though, because like Edge was kind of being a dork, marking out, dorky dad stuff. And Christian was like, fuck you, like, get out of here. And it got to the point, so like after Christian made his entrance, the whole crowd just started chanting, he's our asshole. He's our asshole over and over. And you can even see like Christian kind of smirked a little bit too, but they just would not stop chanting, he's our asshole and who's your daddy. It was really cool. They were really over. I thought it was the best match of the weekend for me out of everything that I watched. I haven't watched the full shows, so I'll take that with a grain of salt, but I really enjoyed the match. You know me with tag team wrestling. And then they did the big finish with Beth Phoenix getting laid out with Spike Piledriver.
Yeah.
So the feud will continue, which is great.
Well, it's very nice to hear you say good words about Edge and Christian.
Listen, I love Edge and Christian, all right? They're not the top tag team of all time, guys. I'm sorry.
Never said they were the top. I said they were one of the top, and you're just wrong.
Listen, I just need to know, though, do you even have the benefit of flash photography?
Says the guy who's literally in the dark right now.
You guys are lucky I haven't even pulled out any of the road rage yet. Some asshole cut me off. Like, it's go time. These guys know I'm doing a podcast here. Like, geez.
I want you to roll your window down and flip someone off and yell that.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast here.
Hey, motherfuckers.
You're gonna go full Wendell Clark. Go for the throat.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Adam before coming on here. I saw him yesterday, and he said that he really enjoyed the show. He was there at the event. And he said he enjoyed it really from start to finish. He said his favorite part was the fact that they moved the start time up to 3:00 because it was over at a time where he wasn't feeling tired. Which, you know, for guys our age, I was like, totally, I get that, man. Like,
dude, I wish,
especially for a 7-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, I love how the company that is geared towards kids doesn't have their show ends at midnight.
I know.
Yet the one with the fucking blood and guts and plastic bags over the head is at 3:00 in the afternoon. What the hell is wrong with this picture? Man,
but
if,
I mean,
if Elimination Chamber would have been at 3:00 in the afternoon,
yeah,
you and I would not have been carrying a 70-pound child through the subway system.
No, and then, you know, people aren't rushing to get on the bus at that time or to get on the subway, right? Like, it makes so much more sense to have these events start at least a little bit earlier, especially if they're going to be that long. But Adam also mentioned that the crowd, like, he saw people saying comments online that, like, oh, the crowd isn't hot for this show and whatnot. But he said being there live, he felt like they were hot for some stuff, but they also stayed at a pretty even atmosphere, really. He's like, they never got to a point where it got too low, and never got to a point where it got like super, super high that you got like completely tired out.
That's impressive considering they followed Edge and Christian with a big bill match. How you don't go too low after
Kingston,
that.
though, right? Eddie Kingston super over.
True enough.
That was a big return. I wanted to say though, the thing I like too, like if I was in my 20s again and they were doing 3:00 pay-per-views on a Saturday, I would love that. I would invite the boys over and pregame to the bar. That's a great pregame. You know what I mean? Then you're primed to go out to the bar after.
It's
100%.
it's a good business model. Now, let's be honest. I'm sure they're only doing it to try to compete because WWE's time slots are trying to go up against them. So they're just doing the smart thing and making sure that they're not going up against Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. It's a
As
smart
they
business
should.
move, but
Yeah,
it turned like even if business move or not, it just makes sense. I hope that both companies look at that and say, hey, we should think about this moving forward.
yeah, I love it. Man. Like even when WWE does like their crown jewel stuff, the pay per view starts at 1 o'clock. I'm like, this is great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no,
The other
I love it. It's way
the
better
other
than
thing,
when Japan has one and I have to stay up till four
wow,
o'clock in the morning.
that's a rough go. Yeah, I will say Wrestle Kingdom is off the view
Yeah,
parties for me these days.
I don't watch Wrestle Kingdom anymore.
The other comment I want to make about this match, and Matt, I'd love to get your take on it. Mike and I talked off air about it, and I'll rehash that after. What did you think about? Did you see any clips of Edge doing this little nod to John Cena?
Yes, I did. And wasn't that like a nod back because Cena did his nod to
Mhm.
Edge
Yes,
about a month ago or so?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I don't know what contract status Edge has right now, and I know the working relationship isn't great between the two companies, but he was a guy that I thought if Cena was having a retirement tour, Edge should be a guy
Part of it.
on that list. I mean, he was arguably one of Cena's biggest rivals.
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna have
They had an
have we done that
amazing
list yet?
match. They had an amazing
But
match at that pay-per-view that Mike hates it that in Toronto in at the TLC match. Yeah, like I thought that part was actually pretty neat. I wonder if he was allowed to do it or not, but
I'm sure
you
he
know.
was.
well, yeah.
Like Tyler
I,
and I did discuss off air. I think I think it's one of those things where Tony's just gonna let Copeland do his thing and be like, hey, without Cena, I don't know if Edge gets to that level.
I mean, let's
Uh,
be real too. Like Edge paid his dues. If he wants to fucking
Yeah.
do something like
well,
that,
that's it too.
who is anybody to say no? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like you've earned that.
100%. And it was a nice nod. Not only should he let him do it for out of respect for Copeland, but whether he's with your company or not, I think Tony's smart enough to know John Cena is one of the greatest of all time and does deserve to be respected as such.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
the crowd agreed. I
well,
mean,
yeah.
when
I
you
mean, they
have
all.
when you have an AEW crowd chanting John Cena, you know something's up there.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. I want to comment on that in a second too. But I mean, I thought WWE was cool when Sting retired, and they acknowledged that on their TV as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there are certain people that are bigger than a company that deserve that recognition.
Mhm.
And John Cena is definitely one of those guys. Now,
100%.
here's my only little take on this though. I thought maybe it was a little too much. I think that the same point could have gotten across if Edge just looked at the FTR guy and did the "you can't see me" hand gesture and gave an F5 maybe. Like I thought the whole five knuckle shuffle thing was a lot because the end result was your entire crowd chanting Cena.
And I don't have a problem with that though. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you could have got the same thing without getting your whole arena to chant. I
Yeah.
thought it was a lot. Like it was,
It might have happened
but
either
again, that's
way.
very nitpicky. Yeah, it was very nitpicky. Like again, I love the spot. I'm not complaining about it. I just think he could have got the same result with a little bit less.
I'm glad he did
That's,
it. I'm sure it was a very important spot for him.
oh, for sure, because he's been
So
asked about this a lot this week, right?
of course, well, just like Matt said, when you think of the career of John Cena, you can't not talk about Edge.
Yeah,
They
he's the
did have
Joker.
one of the greatest rivalries of that. I guess that's still ruthless aggression. I guess era.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
of that era, they 100% are one of my favorite feuds of that section of time. And
I think the two of them, Randy Orton and Batista, were probably the biggest stars
oh yeah,
of that time, right?
for
Like,
Oh,
sure.
big time. Yeah.
And they
Well,
all and that's another name too. I'm really hoping that we at least get Batista sometime between now and December. I don't expect him to work a match. I don't want him to work a match. But if we don't have Batista at least come out and be in a ring with John before December, I'll be a little upset.
they
yeah,
should
it'd be
box the Royal Rumble together again.
nice. I mean, Batista just botches walking in the ring at this point. So,
Wow.
well, we're on the topic of John Cena. Lots of people really upset that Brock Lesnar squashed him at WrestlePalooza. Matt, let me get your take on this first. What do you think about the recreation of their SummerSlam match?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was a complete throwback. I remember watching that match with Andrew Kent, and we just sat there going, "What the hell just happened?" This is the SummerSlam match, I mean, and
Yeah,
it was just like it was unbelievable for the time. Now I'll be honest with you guys. I don't love the fact that Brock Lesnar is back.
yeah.
I just, he's never been a guy that like outside of his very initial WWE run. He's not a guy that I ever really gravitated towards. I thought a lot of his matches were stale and boring and formulaic. I know that's, typical WWE big man stuff.
Sure.
All of Hogan's matches were pretty formulaic as well. A lot of The Rock's matches were formulaic as well. I get it.
That's a whole different formula though.
Yeah, and I mean for me, like Brock Lesnar just I don't know, he just wasn't a guy that got me excited.
I agree
Um
with that.
and then, the whole controversy surrounding him, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really feel morally great about
And
dedicating my time to watching
I'm
stuff that
gonna
he's in anymore. And I don't know, the
yeah.
older I get, the less I feel great about it.
If they were
Yeah,
Uh,
doing
it's hard to look past that stuff. It's what we get.
100%,
yeah.
and if they were doing a one-off match just because John said, listen, it's important to me that I have these people. I want to work these people. And Brock's one of those people. I really want to work them. And they were doing him a favor. I could look past it a bit, whatever. But this obviously is not a one-off. He's not going away right away. At this point, I'm going to bring the conversation back to something that Tyler once said quite a while ago, but we were discussing a very different person, and that's Tessa Blanchard, where Tyler, you questioned whether or not it was a good business decision at the end of the day to bring her back amid her controversies.
Yeah,
Is this not exactly the same scenario?
it is, but I don't think it has had the same impact that Tessa Blanchard had on TNA. We don't have the whole arena chanting "You're a rapist" to Brock, or
That
not that it makes it any better.
that
You know
that
what I mean?
that, that that's on, but that's on the crowd. Where the hell are those people?
But I mean, every time Tessa Blanchard comes out, they're called "You are racist." Like it's that for TNA especially, who is trying to grow and get a bigger TV deal. I think that hurts them a lot more. When I say all this stuff, I'm not defending WWE because I'm on the fence about it as well. I feel greasy about it as well. But Brock Lesnar is a humongous name, right?
Yeah.
Like he's massive. He's a draw, and I don't think that the backlash has been there to warrant the. I think this risk outweighed the reward. Like the risk paid off for the reward, in my opinion.
I don't think there's been enough backlash. I haven't seen very much
That's what I
backlash, if
mean.
any. Yeah.
Exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Online, you had your little online community, but like wrestling fans, I don't know how many like actual like WWE fans even know about what's going on with Brock. Like, I think a majority of the fans do, but I would say it's probably 50-50 of like people knowing Brock's lawsuit stuff with Vince because they do have a younger audience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
The yeah, I mean, I think that for the WWE, it was worth it to bring Brock back because I think it paid off with a big number, and the backlash was not anywhere near what you think it would be.
aside from the moral dilemma of it, though, my biggest problem right now is that okay, so he comes out, he squashes Cena. You're expecting okay, what are they gonna do now? And then they just go straight into a program with AJ Styles.
Yeah, and it from everything that
Rapid
I've
fire, baby.
I
won,
don't
yeah, that's
understand.
it. TNA
I
and
don't get it.
NXT.
Yeah.
And everything that I've read, and you believe things with a grain of salt online, but it doesn't sound like they have a plan to do a rematch with Brock and Cena, and it doesn't sound like Brock will be Cena's last match. So here's my opinion of where this is going. I think that at Survivor Series we're gonna get Team Brock Lesnar against Team John Cena in a War Games match, and I think it's going to be like the Avengers coming together. I think you're going to get Team Brock Lesnar with Brock, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and probably Drew McIntyre if I had to take a guess. And I think you're going to get like the ultimate babyface team of John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Yeah.
I think if that's where we're going with this is just all me fantasy booking and guessing. If that's where we're going with this, then I'm all for that. Squash that happen because that's a hell of a payoff.
Yeah, especially if Cena gets to pin Lesnar to win the match.
That's it, right? So the question I want to ask both of you guys then, as I'm going to get ready to jump off here because I've hit my talking points. I'm going to turn the show over to you guys. The last question I want to ask you guys, we are coming towards the end of John Cena's run. I believe he has about 5 to 7 dates left. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
It's something around those days, around that number. Yeah, 5 or 7.
Right now, if you were to grade John Cena's last year, thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle, where are we at? Matt, let me start with you.
Okay.
Honestly, up until the Lesnar stuff, my thumbs were way up. I loved everything they had done with him. I loved the heel turn. And yeah, like it was, when he first came back doing all the baby face stuff and then the slow kind of nuggets that were being built there. And Mike touched on this perfectly before, or I guess it was after Elimination Chamber, just about how he came back at the Royal Rumble and there were those hints of like, oh, I'm gonna have to do something different here because I'm not getting what I want now, and then he finally goes with the heel turn. Yeah, everything honestly, right up until I wasn't even on board with him kind of hugging Cody Rhodes after their match at SummerSlam either. I thought right then I was like, I think this heel run could probably has a little more legs
I thought so too at the time too.
out of it.
Yeah.
And then so like once that happened and then Lesnar came back, my thumbs have slowly started to go from up to starting to turn a little bit counterclockwise here. So
Yeah, fair enough. And Mike, where are you sitting with John Cena's final run?
I'm still up. It's going to take a lot to turn my thumb down. Did I have, was it flawless? No. Is there anything that I'm going to nitpick? Of course there is. We'll talk about it in length, most likely at the end of the year, when everything is said and done and he's had his final match. But it's no secret. I was not a fan of the way things worked out with The Rock and Travis Scott. I was not a fan of the way, not, I don't care that he did the face turn. I didn't like the way they did the face turn. But other than that, as a whole, as starting in January and getting right here to nearly October, I think it was a success. I liked the majority of what he's done. I have no real problems. And I look for every time I know John Cena is going to be on TV, I want to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to put my thumbs solidly in the middle. I have enjoyed John's work this year. I think even from an in-ring standpoint, he has had a lot of phenomenal matches. think that some of the flawed storytelling has really hurt my view of this.
Yeah.
The I love the heel turn. I think we could have had a better explanation of why he's turning heel instead of oh fuck you fans. Like I
I
like
see.
the
I had no
desperation
problem.
aspect that
I
you
had
guys
no
talked
problem with.
about.
I had no problem with that. What I didn't like is there was not enough explanation of, hey, I sided with The Rock, and then what happened? There was never an explanation, and then one day he's like, I
Yep.
sided with those guys, and that was dumb, and now I'm a good guy again. It was a
Yeah,
cop
I
out.
hated the
I
face
hated
turn.
that.
I hated the face turn as well. I wasn't a fan of the R-Truth stuff in the middle either. I just think that was kind of wasted.
Yeah,
Now, like looking back on it in hindsight, it didn't really do anything for either of them.
no, I think the
I think
R-Truth
they
stuff
missed
was a
the
waste.
ball.
Yeah.
I think they missed the ball in solidifying Cena as a stronger heel by not like destroying R-Truth like Stone Cold did to JR. Like I
Agreed.
think that could have been a good heel moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I just feel like they had a plan and they changed the plan and have just kind of been winging it a little bit. Like
My other big problem with the face turn was doing it the night before SummerSlam,
yeah,
rather after SummerSlam. Like why did he go into that match, especially knowing it was a street fight, which is supposed to be a blood feud
Yeah,
match?
kills it a bit, eh?
He's going into this match where you're expecting violence. These two want to hurt each other, and then he turns face the night before.
and
I
then
that
they
lost
did
me.
have a violent street fight match, so it is in the running for my match of the year. I really like it.
I'm not going to take that away. I love that match. I absolutely love that match.
But yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with pretty much everything you guys said there.
Yeah,
And
definitely a thumb in the middle. Like I said, it was trending in all the right directions, and it just kind of hit a bit of a weak point for me.
I'm not ready to turn yet. You're both in the middle. I'm going to stay up. I'm willing to see where it's going to keep going. I'm not saying by the time December rolls around I won't have turned, but for
I'm
now,
hoping to go the other way.
yeah. But for now, I'm
uh,
okay to keep myself up because I'm still enjoy. The fact of the matter is that I still look forward to seeing him on television, and I
Hmm.
me
think that's
too. Me
important.
too.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I didn't realize how much I wanted to be a baby face until he went back to being a baby face.
Yeah.
Like it's been, I find that this has been a lot more fun with him as the baby face instead of playing this heel role. Because to me, the heel role, it didn't feel authentic. You know what I mean? Like it just felt kind of like he was playing a part instead of being John Cena, if that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah, but I think it
I
came
think that's
from
kind of what they were going for.
I think it came from a pretty good, like a lot of it was like pent up frustration. Like I think he hit all the right notes for why a guy would be acting the way he would be acting. The fact that he, put his heart and soul into what he did, and he would come out every single night and didn't matter what he did, he would still have people booing him, telling him he sucks, all that stuff. Like that stuff I buy. It's when he
Yeah.
started when he started, shouting in the kids' faces and being like, that's when I was like, okay, it feels a little less authentic now because those were the fans that never left you.
Um, so who's his last opponent going to be, guys?
I,
I have a new theory. I have a guess. I don't know if
okay.
this will be the way it goes. I have a guess. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to think about it while I say my theory.
I
What
mean,
do you guys? Go ahead.
I was gonna say for me, it really felt like at Elimination Chamber, it really felt like there was a built-in feud for him and The Rock one more time. But like
Yeah.
now, it's just like,
I don't know if I
I
want
don't.
that. Even if The Rock
I
popped up
I
tomorrow,
know,
I don't
like,
think I want that anymore.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, so that I think is the thing that upsets me the most about it is there was a clear line for that to happen. Um, so with that out of the way, a final match for him. I mean, yeah, like a match against AJ Styles would have probably been a great send off, but is that already for sure scheduled?
Yeah, they announced it for Clash in Perth
Okay.
or whatever the hell that show is.
Okay. So there's two off my list.
What do you guys think about this for a story? Somebody we haven't seen on TV in a while is Gunter. What do you
Well,
think about Gunter coming out and being like, "Hey, I retired Bill Goldberg this year, and I'm gonna retire your ass now too."
Yeah, love it. I
it,
love it for
well,
Gunter for sure.
I believe this is something that you and I pitched a year ago, Tyler.
Yeah,
We talked about this exact story like a year ago when right after Money in the Bank when he announced his retirement tour. We talked about who we wanted to see in this retirement tour, and for the majority, you re-listened to that show not long ago. You told me for the majority of it that we were pretty spot on. We got a lot of names right, but one name that we weren't right about so far was Gunter. Um, Gunter coming out and basically saying that, look at everything I've done, and I took out Goldberg. Now I'm taking you out. It's perfect storytelling. I think, you know, there's no reason why we can't have two passing of the torches in one run. He passed the torch to Cody. There's no it's not out of the realm of possibility to also pass the torch to Gunter. We are in
yeah.
an era of professional wrestling where there can be more than one torch.
Well, they've got more than one title, so yeah.
Well, fuck, they got 16 fucking titles.
Well, but here's the thing. He retires Goldberg, he retires Cena, then maybe he retires the legend killer himself and Randy Orton,
Oh, I
and
would
then
love that.
and then you put the title on him and have him beat everybody. That's
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all for Gunter all the time.
me too.
yeah, me too.
I like your idea. If Gunther was Cena's last opponent in December, I would not hate it. I would be okay with it. I've been trying to think of who it could be. Part of me wonders, should it be a legend or should it be a current superstar? If it's going to be a current superstar, I think it almost has to be Gunther. Other than him, who really needs the rub? Who really could benefit from being in that spot? Possibly Drew McIntyre.
Braun Breaker.
If
Yeah.
Braun Breaker would be a great one. I
I
believe
think
I believe
that
he was the name we brought up a year ago when we talked about this.
I think that we're gonna see Brock Lesnar give Braun Breaker that rub.
And then if it wasn't for the end of the heel run, if he was still doing the heel run, I would have said a great name would have been Jey Uso. Uh,
Yeah.
Jey Uso and Cena in the last match would have been perfect for Jey. That what a rub for Jey that would have been.
You know, the other name that I don't know.
Roman.
I think a lot of people might shit on this. What if you got Cody Rhodes?
Okay,
With the title?
so
Cody Rhodes with the title going, hey, you beat me
yeah.
at WrestleMania. I beat you at SummerSlam.
I was just about to say.
Want to try to make it 18? Let's do it one more time.
I would be very okay with that. If his last match in WWE was finishing off this trilogy with Cody, I would not hate that at all.
I would like that as well.
But I'm also I've been very high on Cody this year too, though. So I'm a little biased on that.
Yeah, I'm a big Cody guy.
I think again, like things kind of soured because I thought this stuff with Heyman and Rollins and Breaker, like, could you not have just substituted Breaker into the Lesnar role right now? And then
Yeah.
and then at least
you think he gets
Cena's
the same
giving
impact though?
if he comes out and squashes him, yeah, it might even have a bigger impact.
Maybe. I
Or
just
for a
I don't
young guy
know.
like that to come out and challenge Cena in his last year, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there that they could have done this by elevating the current product.
Now we are forgetting a huge name. Somebody who it probably will be at the end of all this. I could definitely see them bringing out Travis Scott. We're gonna get John Cena and Travis Scott in December. His last match. It's just gonna be Travis Scott doing nothing, just walking around the ring. That for half an hour.
I did not think, Mike, that you could ever say anything that made you think that Shawn Michaels should lead Team TNA better. I did not think you could ever make Shawn Michaels leading TNA better, or Triple H leading Team TNA better, but you just found it.
Yeah.
I think this is the note where I'm going to see myself out, gentlemen.
That's a good one.
This has been a blast. I can't wait to edit this and listen to the lists after. But I am gonna go and cuddle up to the wife on the couch. It's Big Brother night for me, brother.
Oh,
All right, brother, enjoy the Big Brother tonight.
Gotta brother it up.
brother.
Thanks for having me, boys. I'm out of here.
All right, have a good night.
All right.
Cheers.
As Tyler counts, God, I hate
Hopefully
you.
the entire Zoom call doesn't. Okay, he's gone.
No, I'm the host. We got it.
I was really worried there for a second. You just turned the whole thing off.
As Tyler counts himself out, it is list time. We never really talked about this, but if you hit the thumbnail, I'm gonna guess you already figured out what the list is. In honor of WrestlePalooza, of course. We're gonna see
honor or dishonor.
Yeah, we're gonna see where that amazing name stacks up in the top 7 worst pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it, names of all time. I said when I pitched it to you and Adam and Tyler, I said I called it worst PLEs just because I've been brainwashed and that's what we call it now. But it does bring me back to an old commercial of a podcast gone by of a guy saying, "Do they even have to call them pay-per-views anymore?" That's
I wonder who that was.
That's for my old wrestling show fans. If you know, you know.
Adam and I had to pause. Like the way we recorded that commercial, I didn't know what we were doing at first. He was like, "Let's just riff. We're just gonna throw things out at each other and see where it goes." Like,
and you came up with
just like
bloodthirsty
improv
Canadians.
class, and we and I came up with that.
That's hilarious. So that's what we're doing. We're going to talk about what I consider to be the worst of the worst when it comes to the names of pay-per-views. And surprisingly, there wasn't as many bad ones as I thought. Maybe I just
Really?
have bad. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just have bad taste though, because I've seen a lot of other people's lists, and half the names on their list, I'm like, no, I like that. That's okay.
Okay.
So maybe I just have bad taste, but I did get 7. So we're gonna start there, and we are going to start. I changed this at the last minute, so this will make Tyler happy. I told Tyler that I had no WCW on my list.
No WCW?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. There's a couple bad ones.
There's a few bad ones, but as far as the 7 worst of all time, it was bad. I had one that was battling for my 7 spot, and while we were talking, I just decided, you know what, I'm sticking it in. My original number 7, I'll just tear the Band-Aid off here. The Bash is no longer on the list.
Okay.
Congratulations, The Bash. You are no longer one of the top 7 worst pay-per-view names of all time.
Now that was like WWE's version of not calling it the Great American Bash.
But they've been calling it the Great American Bash for a few years at that point. Like
okay, I thought the first one was called the Bash, and then they decided to go with.
So the Great American Bash had been an NWA WCW pay-per-view for 20 years.
Yes.
And then WWE obviously bought the rights and all that shit, and they had their own Great American Bash.
They did have their own Great American Bash. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe the first one, don't quote me, but I believe the first one was in 2008. The first WWE produced one. And then by the time 2009 comes along, they decide, you know what, we're just going to call it The Bash. And nobody bought it. It was like, what are you doing? It's so silly. But that's neither here nor there, because it did not make the list. It got bumped up. It got bumped off at the last minute for this one.
Very quickly though, what is your criteria? What is, because you're talking to someone who works with words for a living? So are we getting in the fact that it's like,
it just needs to sound like when you hear a show, let's pick one of my favorites. Okay, when you hear the Royal Rumble, when you
Hmm.
hear WrestleMania, when you hear these kind of names, even I'll even go to AEW and say an All In. These pay-per-view names, they tell you know what you're getting. The name of a pay-per-view should set up the show. When the name is really silly, I I think you've already lost me before. It doesn't matter how great the show is. You've already lost me because I feel dumb watching the show. God forbid I pay money for it. You know what I mean? Like
So it's
I don't want to sit there going, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to watch Great Balls of Fire. Like what? Like it makes no sense to me.
yes.
So the name itself has to be a great name. To make this list, number one criteria, does it sound silly? Does it sound like something you wouldn't want to watch otherwise, whether it was wrestling or not? You know what I
Right.
mean?
So
That's the
yeah,
number
I was
one
gonna say
criteria for me.
like a movie title, right? Like I just Googled worst movie titles ever, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang came up. And I'm like, yeah, like that sounds stupid. Why would anyone watch a movie called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Just never accidentally Google shitty gangbang. It's a very different movie. There's a couch involved. Anyways, so the new number seven is a WCW pay-per-view. I think I've lost Matt. He's done.
Okay.
The new number seven, we are going to WCW and we're going to New Blood Rising. I think this is number one, it was a horrible angle, but it's a horrible name for a TV show. Yes, I get you're trying to get this stable over, but it was just it's out of all the WCW papers, and there's been some bad names. There you got Tyler will want me to mention Slamboree because he hates it. Greed almost made the list, but I think out of all of them, the worst one for my money is New Blood Rising.
A lot of the time in wrestling, when you put new in front of something, it doesn't work.
Not
I
just
think the New
not
Day
that's the only
is the only one.
exception. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The new Rockers, the new
the new
Midnight
Rockers,
Express, the new Blackjacks.
the
You
new
know,
LOD. Oh,
no,
no, wait,
no,
they
that's
were LOD
LOD
2000.
2000. Yeah, no, they weren't because that was still LOD. What what was the Heidenreich version? I think they were just LOD. I
I
can't
think
remember
it
what.
was. I think it was
Yeah,
literally just
yeah. I
LOD,
think they just called themselves
but they were
LOD.
calling them the new
The new
LOD.
LOD,
It
yeah.
it didn't
Oh,
say that on the
so bad.
nameplate, but
No, but that's what you knew that it was implied. Oh,
yes. Yeah, I don't know, New Blood Rising, like it's like you're just trying to throw a bunch of wrestling terms at the wall and seeing which ones kind of stick. Like,
right. Yeah.
right? Like what does it actually mean? Okay, like new blood, probably younger guys trying to
Well, and that was the
rise
stable,
up and take
and
over against the older guys. Like I
and
get what they're going for,
and
but
that
it
was the
just
stable at the time. It was well, I was gonna say the hot stable, but nothing was hot. We're talking. This is WCW 2000.
oh
Nothing was hot.
God.
Nothing was hot. Nothing was working. You know. Plus, this was also peak Vince Russo. This is Vince Russo at his most Vince Russo, which, oh, good Lord. But even Vince Russo, I think, could have done better than my number six because we're going to go all the way to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and talk about the greatest Royal Rumble. I the minute they told us that was the name, I was so angry. You like just the fact that they were doing a second Royal Rumble that year was bad enough. You couldn't call it something else. You couldn't do something. You couldn't. No, this isn't just a Royal Rumble. This is the greatest Royal Rumble, which means all other Royal Rumbles can suck a dick. So why should I ever give you my money in January ever again?
As
They did the same thing with WrestleMania, didn't they? I think they did something. I think they had a Saudi show that they pushed as bigger than WrestleMania. Cool. Why the fuck am I going to watch WrestleMania in April then? Makes no
Hmm.
sense to me. No sense.
Um,
It's bad
as
marketing.
bad as putting new in front of stuff that has to do with wrestling,
Greatest.
probably putting greatest in front of stuff that has, because you are just setting yourself up for failure. Because as soon as you put that adjective in front of whatever gimmick it is,
Polly.
all people are gonna do is compare it
Yeah.
to now. I don't, there have been so many times where, thinking back to my childhood, JR would open a WrestleMania by saying, this is the granddaddy of them all. This is going to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. And yeah, you can open a show with that and set those expectations
Sure.
that way. Once the show started and it's sold, and the first
But
shot you see is 60 to 70,000 people screaming right after the pyro, you're into it. Yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be the greatest thing I ever see, sure. But to call something the greatest, followed up with whatever
yeah,
as
you're all
the title of the show, can you imagine a band? Can you imagine a band coming out of Liverpool calling themselves the greatest Beatles? Like it doesn't work.
and the worst part is the match sucked. You know what I mean? They went and
Yeah.
put they went and put it on, what was it, Braun Strowman? like
I can't, I don't even remember.
it was
Was
a
this the one that
horrible match.
um
Titus?
Titus?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I remember for the
Wh-
show.
as you should. That's the only thing worth remembering from that
Wasn't
entire
there like
pay-per-view.
50 guys in it?
I think if not, definitely not 50, might have been 40. I can't remember. It's possible that it was 40. I, there was only
Um
there was
yeah,
definitely
because
one.
I know what they're going for is no, it was 50.
Was it really 50?
Featured a
Jesus
50
Christ.
man Royal Rumble.
My God.
So what they're going for in terms of using, okay, see now I'm gonna get into my English lit here, but trying to use the word greatest, they're trying to use it in terms of like vast,
Yeah,
right?
it's not best. It's
Not best,
the
the
great.
largest.
Yeah, because great is it can be used as a measurement of volume, right? And I understand that, but how do
It
I say
doesn't work
how
that way in our
how do I
vernacular.
also how do I say this nicely? Your core demographic isn't that fucking smart.
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is. You have to
Yeah.
dumb this shit down sometimes,
Yeah.
you know? So
Isn't there a scene from like Family Guy where they're like, or no, it's Chief Wiggum in the Simpsons when he's like, oh, it's a play on words, I get it.
so I stand by greatest Royal Rumble. I think I always
Awful
hated
name.
that. Yeah. I mean, none of those Saudi shows have great names, but that was the worst of the worst,
Crown Jewel, I think,
I
works
guess.
out of
Sure.
all of that,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
At least it makes sense to
Yes.
because they're in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
and yeah, I get it. What I
I'm not
don't get,
happy about it, but I get it.
what I don't get uh, was WWE trying so hard to make money off a dead promotion when they brought back ECW,
Oh no.
and it barely got off the ground with only one pay-per-view, and it's probably one of the worst WWE produced pay-per-views of all time. We're talking about December to dismember.
I started typing it in as soon as you said ECW.
No, I
They didn't
get
even let Kimono Wanalea dance on top of the
no.
ECW arena. Like,
Listen, I get it. They were trying to because ECW famously had a pay per view before November to Remember. I like things that rhyme too, guys, but dismember, like, fuck.
again, if we aren't getting greatest over in terms of, large amounts and vast
Yeah.
amounts, I don't think a lot of wrestling fans are going to understand dismember. Which
Well,
member
it's
got
just a
dissed,
bad name.
guys?
It's
Which
just
of these
such a
members
bad
got
name.
dissed?
It's
Um,
just a bad name altogether.
it is.
But it's very fitting because it is a horrible pay-per-view.
Yeah, horrible name, horrible pay-per-view. Um,
To the fact, like it was so bad that the man who ran the entire show, the man who wrote the show and produced the show, didn't even stay for the show.
yeah,
Famously, I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman left during the show because it was so fucking bad.
yeah. Um, yeah, like really not a lot to say here,
Yeah.
other than how bad it was, and it is unfortunate because I thought a revitalization, especially after One Night Stand, thought a revitalization of ECW could have had some legs. Unfortunately, those legs didn't last very long.
No. All right, time for me to catch some heat. I maybe not from you, but I guarantee I'll hear from a few of the listeners because my number four isn't only a bad pay-per-view name, it's just a term that I despise. Ever since it was coined about 4 years ago, I hate every single time anybody says this phrase, and then they went and named a fucking pay-per-view after it, and I hate it so much. This is Forbidden Door. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so fucking
There are
much.
so many other badly
Ah,
named pay-per-view
I
names.
despise Forbidden Door.
Why?
It's such a bad name for a pay-per-view because it's a bad concept. Number one, it's Tony's way of trying to get over that he created this thing, which he didn't at all. And he tried taking all this credit for this concept that wasn't his in the fucking first place. And then just because you coin something, you put a name on it, does not make it yours. This is Tony Khan's version of I licked it so I get to keep it. It's I hate it. So what he did essentially is he wanted to keep what he licked, so he named it an entire fucking pay-per-view after it and tried to model something after it. And even all these years later, it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. I hate it.
It's interesting though because I do think at the very least, they've stuck to it gimmick wise, right? And aren't like a lot of these matches that are on these shows are kind of one-offs, right? It's AEW guys or North American guys against guys from Japan, and they really try to incorporate the best elements of both styles of wrestling, both genres of wrestlers themselves. Forbidden Door, it's not like it doesn't roll off the tongue great. But like I think there are worse ones than Forbidden Door, especially a lot of the WWE ones that are named after specific gimmicks or matches.
I kind of kept those off there because I could have put TLC because it's a dumb name for a pay-per-view.
TLC,
But
Hell in a
even
Cell,
Hell in a Cell.
Fatal Four Way,
Yeah, I've never been a fan of naming a pay-per-view after a match. Um,
except Royal Rumble.
except for Royal Rumble because it Royal Rumble's just its own thing. Royal Rumble became its own entity. You know what I mean? So it gets the pass. Survivor Series, you could kind of say the same thing, even though they don't even do Survivor Series matches anymore.
Yeah. Um, War Games, I guess that was the original title of the
That
NXT or the WCW. It was called
well,
WCW War Games, right?
and that goes back to the NWA days, but yeah.
Yeah, and then what was it? And even King of the Ring, right?
No, actually, no. That was never the original name. War Games would happen at I want to say Starcade.
Adam. We need Adam.
This is Tyler. Tyler's screaming at me, and he doesn't because this is
See, that's why
Tyler's
I was
girl.
asking.
Yeah.
Like, was it only called War Games as a pay-per-view when
No,
it became WWE?
that was way later. No, I think WCW started doing it.
They did start calling it. Okay.
I think, but
I know I can't remember that far back.
I don't
Anyway,
remember. Yeah.
Forbidden Door would not make my list. I didn't
Yeah,
put a list together for you.
I'm sure it wouldn't make a lot of people's list, but I hate it. I've always hated it from the first time that stupid smug prick said it on TV. I hated him for it. I blame Forbidden Door for 90% of the reason why I hate Tony Khan. I bet if he never said that word, if he never said that phrase, I would probably not want to throw things up my TV every time he pops on it. I don't know. Ugh. Anyways, my number three, we're going to move on to the reason for the season itself. We're going to talk about the pay-per-view that CM Punk himself wouldn't say in the press junkets, and that's WrestlePalooza.
Awful. It's so bad. It's
here's my
so dumb.
here's my
You know,
here's my
when
biggest problem with it is it's just probably the most unoriginal, uninspired name
yeah,
in history. Because number one, ECW famously had a WrestlePalooza already. Every indie in the fucking world has had at least one WrestlePalooza. Even me, my backyard federation in 1997 had a WrestlePalooza. Okay, ever since Perry Farrell decided to throw on a rock show and call it Lollapalooza, everybody wanted a palooza. There's been WrestlePaloozas, there's been fucking Taco Paloozas, you name it, there's a palooza for it.
I want to
Okay,
go to that one.
uh, this it not only has it been done, it's been done to nauseum, it's been done to death, it's been done. There's no reason. Are you telling me that there's nothing else you could have thought of in 2025 than WrestlePalooza? The only thing I can think is some douchebag at ESPN came up with the idea and
Yeah.
said Triple H, if we're gonna do this, this is the name I want. And Triple H said, "Yes, master." Tucked his dick between his legs like he does with Saudi and fucking named it that. Because let's be honest, he does this. This started with Vince. They do the same thing with Saudi. Saudi says, give me Yokozuna. We say Yokozuna's been dead for 15 years, and then just we give him somebody who looks like Yokozuna. It's the same thing with ESPN. I think they probably picked this name because I refuse to believe that this is the best name Triple H could have came up with. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
couldn't have used Judgment Day again or Unforgiven.
There's so many great
Like,
retired names. There's a like the In Your House catalog alone had some awesome names. So even though I will say this, a lot of the lists that I looked at of people doing this, number two on like four different lists was Beware of Dog. What the hell is your problem with the Beware of Dog? I love everything about that name. There's nothing wrong with Beware of Dog.
especially when it features the Road Dog.
Well, the main event had the British Bulldog in it. It made
That's
sense.
it.
All
um,
right.
yeah, no, WrestlePalooza is awful. Just awful.
Speaking about awful, I'm going to feel awful when Adam gets mad at me for my number two because we're going to the wonderful world of TNA for this one. I don't know if this is a wrestling pay-per-view or just the greatest gay pornographic film in history. We're checking out Hard Justice. What a name. Hard Justice. Tell me that doesn't sound like an all-male casted porno. Like
That should have
Jesus.
been that should have been Christian's indie name along with Sexton
Sexton
Hardcastle.
Hardcastle and Hard Justice.
You like that?
That's oh fuck. That's just I want to live in an alternate reality right now where that's the Suicide Blondes or Sexton Hardcastle and Hard Justice. Holy shit. Or
Um,
that's what they should. What's that stupid Costco kid? They call him they pop up in AEW every once in a while. Little chubby kid, and they call him they call him Big Justice. When he gets
oh,
old,
okay.
if he gets older, they're gonna start calling him Hard Justice. I guarantee it.
So the first thing that comes up when I Google hard justice
Oh no. Now
is
you have
now
to
I have to
erase your Google history
yeah.
now.
No, there's a movie from 1995, a
Jean Claude
federal
Van Damme.
agent. What's that?
Jean-Claude Van Damme? It just sounds like
No,
a
but
Van
it
Damme
could have
movie.
been.
Yeah, it just sounds like if it's not Van Damme, I'd say it's Steven Seagal. It sounds like something they would do.
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, reading the synopsis and um looking at the thumbnails, yeah. He could have put or Bruce Willis. I
I
mean,
mean,
he looks like John the guy kind of looks like he's doing a John McClane impression. Anyway, yeah, not a great name. Sorry, Adam.
it's just so bad. And of course, I don't think anyone's gonna be surprised by my number one because it is the worst name in history. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they came up with Great Balls of Fire. Ah,
We were running WrestleMania at the time.
yes.
I can't remember what Adam had to say about this, but I remember hating it.
Mm-hmm.
Just hating it, thinking it was so dumb. And the fact that they even used Jerry Lee Lewis's Great Balls of Fire theme for that, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what are we doing here? Because I remember at the time, like, I wasn't loving the storylines that they were putting out at the time.
What was the main event? Was it
I'm trying to
Samoa Joe
remember.
and I feel like it was Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar. And I remember it being a big letdown match. Um, yeah, I want to say that's what it was.
Yes, Brock Lesnar defeated Samoa Joe in an ambulance match.
Oh my God, it was an ambulance match too.
Some
Oh,
Braun Strowman defeated Roman Reigns in a 30-minute Iron Man match where Cesaro and Sheamus retained the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Hardy Boys. That one I remember being a good match.
now if I remember properly, this match was in Texas, maybe Dallas, Texas. This event, anyways.
Yep,
Believe it or
Dallas,
not,
Texas.
believe it or not, I've got two buddies that you actually might know as well through our backyard circles who traveled down to see this show live from North Bay.
Wow.
How badly do you want to see Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe that you go to the worst named pay-per-view of all time in Texas? I don't know what the travel time from and they drove, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know what the travel time from North Bay to Texas is, but whatever it is, it's not worth to go to fucking Great Balls of Fire. Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, the storylines at the time, by the way, it'd take 24 hours and 36 minutes to drive down there from North
Oh,
Bay. It's a long time to be in a
that's a
car.
long time.
Um, yeah, I just remember like I wasn't loving the fact that Lesnar was just literally running through everybody at the time.
Right.
And that like I was saying earlier on
Yeah.
this show, it
Kind of
was
goes
just
back to what you were just saying. Yeah.
yeah. And so I didn't I really wanted Samoa Joe to be the champion at the time.
Mhm.
And I hated that I was just like they're just gonna feed him to Lesnar, like they're feeding everybody else, and then they changed the name of this pay-per-view too. I remember it came up like it was supposed to be let me give me right here. This
I don't
date's
remember that.
event was originally announced to revive Bad Blood and held in Hartford, Connecticut,
Huh.
but plans were changed.
I don't remember that. Okay.
But plans were changed in favor of Great Balls of Fire, and Bad Blood would later return in 2024.
Well, first of all, I'm glad they didn't do that. To me, Bad Blood should always be an October pay-per-view. And that event, I believe, was in July. So I would not have enjoyed that. The biggest question for me is why did they move from Connecticut to Dallas? That's interesting to me.
It just said plans were scrapped.
Hmm. Very weird. My biggest problem too, the name makes no sense. I don't need every pay-per-view name to be literal. That I mean, we talked about this. I don't need them to be named after a match or whatever. But I do like going back to what I said about the In Your House days. The In Your House pay-per-views used to be named at least about around a storyline that was going on. You had In Your House Mind Games. Why? Because what did Mankind do every time on TV. He was playing mind games. He was one of your biggest stars, and he's in your main event. Mind games make sense. You buried alive, little on the nose, but what was the show about? Uh, One of your biggest attractions was going to be a buried alive match. I liked those kind of shows. Good friends, better enemies, because Shawn Michaels is going up against his best friend. Those I liked them because they were literal, but not too literal. Where this, what did Great Balls of Fire have to do with anything?
It wasn't
Anything
even
at
like there was an
all?
Inferno match on the show.
Was this even if you told me that they were doing it down the street from the birthplace of Jerry Lee Lewis, I would be like, okay, at least there's a fucking tie-in. But there's nothing. There's nothing. Like, was the crowd full of old men who like to have sex with 13-year-old girls? I don't think so. It just made no sense to me at all. So it will forever, as far as I'm concerned, be known as the worst named pay-per-view of all time. And there's something to be said. I think if you're going into, there's a reason why that pay-per-view failed. You're setting yourself up for failure. I said this during my criteria. You set yourself up for failure when you name your show something stupid, because then nobody wants to watch it. No one's going to take it seriously, except for two weirdos who travel 24 hours in a car to Dallas to see it.
What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to see Great Balls of Fire. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Like,
All also, I mean that would come in second place to Hard Justice for.
yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, that did I leave anything off that you think should have been on the list? Did you have any off the top of your head you thought I'd be
I've been
mentioning?
looking through some lists as you've been defining yours. So I
Yeah.
mean, Taboo Tuesday is on quite a few
Okay.
lists.
Yeah, which I don't understand. I always love that name. If we're gonna talk about Tuesday, I thought about putting on this Tuesday in Texas,
Yeah,
because I think it's just a cop out name. So it's like, what are we gonna call this pay per view? It's their very first ever non weekend pay per view, and they're
yeah,
like, what are we gonna call it? I don't know. It's on Tuesday.
and it's in Texas.
It's in Texas. This Tuesday in Texas. That's good shit, pal. It's a horrible name. Didn't make the list, but it's a horrible name.
Yeah,
I would put that on the list long before Taboo Tuesday. I liked Taboo Tuesday. If anything, I would put Cyber Sunday on there. I thought Cyber Sunday was a silly name, but at least it made sense.
interesting.
But at least it made sense. I like Taboo Tuesday a lot more than Cyber Sunday.
I'm reverse. I like Cyber Sunday better because it explains the gimmick a little more.
Well, and I think it explained it with Taboo Tuesday. Taboo Tuesday, number one, you didn't have pay-per-views on Tuesdays. You didn't have wrestling on Tuesdays. It was taboo. Wrestling Tuesday was not a wrestling day for any
Yeah,
company. So
yeah,
that's off it. Then to further the taboo, nobody ever put the power in the fans' hands before.
sure.
And that's a huge taboo in the business, because you're taking the control of the booker's hand, you put it in the fans. I absolutely love that name. That would not even come close to being on my list.
All right, what about WrestleMania Backlash?
Yeah, I thought about putting that on. I like
That's awful.
Backlash. I like WrestleMania. It's a little on the nose. We get it. We know what
Yeah,
Backlash is. When you have Backlash right after WrestleMania, we understand. You don't have to spell it all out. You don't have to be like, oh, this is the Backlash from WrestleMania. Like, they might as well just like have a big long title.
yeah.
This is what's the name of your show? The show is called, this is the show where people get revenge on what happened at WrestleMania. No, you don't need to explain it to us. This is it's like when when you tell a joke and you have to explain the joke, that means it's not funny. When you have
Yes,
to explain your pay-per-view in the fucking
yes.
title, it's not good.
Other ones on here, bragging rights. I don't
I
mind
never
that.
had a problem with bragging rights.
I
I'm
don't
fine
like
with
the
it.
concept. It
That
was
what
basically
wasn't that like a
it was
Robert
SmackDown
SmackDown
versus
kind of
Raw,
thing? Yeah.
right? So brand superiority. And if anyone here ever listened to the WrestleMania days, you know how much I loathed brand superiority.
I think it
But
worked
I don't mind
when
bragging
they were
rights is a good
doing
name.
that with Survivor Series for a while. I was okay with it because Survivor Series kind of fits that mold.
Yeah, but
But
I also was like, there. It was always weird because each team had a mix of baby faces and heels
yeah,
on.
yeah, I know. But then they started overdoing that gimmick because
Yeah,
they would have that bragging rights, they would have Survivor Series, then they had Night of Champions,
and
which became that as
yes.
well.
So to me, here we go, fantasy booker time for me. Survivor Series, if you're gonna do a cross brand, make it where it's like you can't actually face each other up until this pay-per-view, and then you can have, say the Intercontinental title is on Raw, have that champion face a SmackDown guy, and maybe the Intercontinental title moves over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like that's how they should have been doing it. But anyway, um, anyway,
Like I mentioned before, I thought about WCW's greed.
yeah.
That was pretty bad. Uh, just to piss off Tyler, I'll say WCW's mayhem, even though that's not a bad name.
No, Mayhem's fine.
It was a horrible. I say that just because he was at that show. He was at WCW Mayhem,
I mean, it spawned a
and
video game, didn't it?
it sure did. You know what? I think the video game
Or an
spawned.
arcade game?
I no, it was a video game, and I'm pretty sure a CD. They even had like a music CD and called it
Yes.
Mayhem.
There's
Um,
WCW Mayhem the video game and WCW Mayhem the album.
yeah. Which I bought.
Oh, it's like the worst
Oh
wrestling
yeah.
video game.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Okay.
It's really, really, really bad. And the album's not good either. I remember buying the album because I was excited because they're gonna have things like Sting. Sting had just started using "Seek and Destroy" by Metallica. I don't know if you ever heard this, but on the CD, the official soundtrack of WCW, there's a shitty ass recording of Sting's music where you can hear the crowd in the background. It sounds like somebody just took like a recorder like this and held it up in a fucking arena and just let it play. You can hear the crowd, you can hear, yeah, it's horrible. And
What?
they put it on an official CD.
What?
Yeah, very bad.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything about Mayhem sucked. The CD, the video game, and especially the pay-per-view. It's Mayhem's horrible, but not a bad name. All right, I think that's about our time. Anything you need to plug? You're doing a lot of cool things in the world of Blue Jays.
Uh, hey,
Tell us what
yeah, if
you're doing.
anyone wants to read my stuff, go over to jaysjournal.com. We're building a pretty good community over there. We've had a lot
Mhm.
of reads over the last 2 or 3 months, so yeah, you can sign up to get email notifications. So you could start your day with a cup of coffee and reading a couple Jay's Journal articles, and that would really help go a long way to helping us for sure. And then on the hockey side of things, we've got a new North Bay
That's
Battalion
right.
podcast.
Let's talk about that for a second because I don't know what you're at liberty to talk about, but there was one before. It kind of didn't go the way anybody wanted it to go,
Yeah.
and then kind of went away. Um, but now is it back or this is a whole
So this is
new
it's
animal?
brand new. It's really being backed by the team,
Okay,
and it's awesome because as someone who is already pretty busy,
yeah,
um, I basically just have to do my research and show up and host a show.
nice.
Now, we are on a chat group. There's like 8 people that are kind of dedicated to doing this show between we have an executive producer, we have dedicated camera people, we have a live show producer, we have a guy who is kind of like a showrunner who, gets our guests, sets everything up, makes sure people in the venue are good. We have a tech crew on hand as well. So
Yeah,
it's like it's a
yeah,
legit
it's
show. So not to say, and so the best part is I don't have to worry about promoting it other than, retweeting stuff and pushing stuff out on my
Sure.
own socials. I don't have to worry about cutting clips or getting interviews or anything. They just tell me where to go and I
Love
show
that.
up and I talk hockey and it's awesome. Not to say that I don't put any effort into it. Like I said, when I know who's going to be the guest, I'll do my research. I'm obviously covering the team, so I'm, writing game recaps and stuff for Bay
Sure.
Today.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's awesome. We did our first live on location show.
Is that who is running this? Is Bay Today
No, Bay Today is
running this?
as
Okay.
another side thing.
Oh wow.
No, Bay Today is
A
is
man
our
of
local
many hats
newspaper.
is Matt Sookram.
Yeah, so Bay Today is our local newspaper in North
Yeah.
Bay, and
Yeah.
I do feature articles for them, and then I cover the battalion for them, so I
Is
write game recaps and features and stuff. So
is the Nugget not a thing anymore?
they are.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if they
Um,
that this because this ages me. I when I studied print journalism in North Bay 20 years ago, fuck, 25 years ago.
yeah,
Holy shit. Uh the only thing in town was the Nugget, and yeah, and we've
yeah.
come a long
So
way from those days.
yeah, I mean, they are still around. They're not a daily, or maybe they are still a daily, but a lot of newspapers have gone to like the blog style, right? Like,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that's what beta day is. And I don't mean blog in like a derogatory term. It's just
No, no, no.
you get it online,
It's
right?
evolution.
It's
It's
yeah,
and the people are saying the print media is dead. I think that only implies that the actual physical
yes,
physical holding of it might be dead. Print media is not dead. And
no,
you are living proof of that because
yeah.
you're making you're making at least part of your nut by by writing. You know what I
And
mean?
and
Between Jay's Journal and the stuff for Bay Today and all this
yeah,
stuff that I I could talk about this all day. This always has been a passion of mine. You know, much like yourself, I did study print journalism because I think print is important. I think print is always going to be part of our society. And just to brush it off as, oh, it's dead because I don't buy newspapers or I don't buy magazines. Well, guess what? When you're sitting on your fucking phone, having your coffee in the morning, scrolling, you're reading.
and 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 we need a new term for print journalism,
Sure.
I think,
Yeah.
right? Because print does convey a printed something that you printed out and can hold.
Yes.
But you're right, the art of print journalism is still there. In just it's
100% it
just a
is.
different format. So yeah, really enjoying doing that. So anyone on here that's listening that enjoys junior hockey, like I said, we did a live show from a local restaurant and had like it was in front of like a live audience. So we're doing that.
That's very
Um,
cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and so we have some sponsors that have come on board that want us to be doing shows in their locations. So every week we'll be at a different spot in town, at a different restaurant in town. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun to do so far, and we're just a couple weeks into it, but really enjoying it, and would love for people to go on and subscribe. So every week after you're done listening to Count It Out, go and listen to
Hmm.
the North Bay Battalion. It's called Troops Trio. So it's myself and two other kind of longtime broadcasters in North Bay that have covered the team basically since they moved here that are doing this show. So
Phenomenal. So so make sure you just fucking Google it. We don't got to give you all the links and everything. Google it. Find it, find the Bay Today stuff. Go to Jay's Journal. Give Matt your love. Matt deserves it. Matt, this isn't the last
thank
time we'll
you.
see you. We'll get you back on soon enough and talk more about what you're up to. Thank you once again for sort of filling in for Tyler.
Sort of.
Sort of. Half filling in.
My
Um,
pleasure, man. Anytime.
until next time, my friends, you have been counted out.